the future assistant professors, welcome back to English Winglish by Pooja Singh. Today I want to ask you one simple question that when you read a novel, what do you think? Who creates the meaning, right? Is it the author? Is it the text? Or is it you, the reader? Is it me, the reader, who creates the meaning, right? So today we are going to talk about the reader response theory, and it is, one of the most important theory. Earlier all the critics opposed this idea. They were saying that no, it is only the text that creates the meaning, it is the author that creates the meaning. But today we are going to talk about how a reader is going to create the meaning. I'll just give you one simple example. You might have heard of Pride and Prejudice or by Jane Austen. If you are a romantic reader, if you are in love, you will focus on the story of Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy. But if you are a feminist and you're reading this Pride and Prejudice, you are going to talk about the limited social position of women. But if you are a historian, you're going to talk about the 19th century, right? So it is you, it is me, it is the reader who are going to interpret and get the text, get the meaning out of it. And it does depends on so many things. If you are in happy mood, you are going to love that novel. If you are in sad mood and you are reading Hamlet or Macbeth, you will feel sympathy with all the victims. But if you are a evil character, you will be liking all the evil characters. If you are a kind-hearted person, you are going to love all the good characters in the novel. So this is how a reader response theory changes. The text remains same, but the meaning, but the shadow, but the whole story, but the whole interpretation changes. So today we are going to talk about what is reader response theory and how we are going to talk about it with all the examples and why it is important. So without any delay, let's get started. What is reader response theory? As the name suggests, reader response theory. How a reader is going to what? Response. And that's what it say. Reader response theory. So it is the theory that focuses on the role of the reader in interpreting literature. Very easy. In all the criticism, in all the theory, it is very easy. It is a very easy one. So a literary text does not have a single fixed meaning, as we already know this. What it does, meaning is created through what? Interaction between the text and the reader. If you want to understand in the simple words, see, literature becomes meaningful only when someone reads it. Until unless you are not reading it, it's just the text, words on a page, right? So this theory shifts from the focus from the author to the reader. Now it is not important, so ultimately it says that reader, what does reader do? Reader read the text, okay, and derive the meaning out of it. Until unless you are not taking out the meaning out of it, you won't be understanding it. So ultimately the reader is the producer of the meaning. Now, why did this emerge? So before reader response theory, many critics followed that text centered approach. Earlier we were knowing that text is the main thing, text is everything, text, do text, read, believe, understand, text is everything, text is autotelic. But now, for example, like new criticism believe that meaning lies inside the text and you don't have to follow on the author. They focused on structure, imagery, symbolism and irony. Readers and authors were considered irrelevant. Okay, now reader response critics argue that this approach ignores an important fact. Now every reader experiences a text differently, therefore meaning cannot be completely fixed. If there are 50 students in a class, all 50 students cannot think in a same way. They are going to read this text in their different perspective. Just understand one thing. I'll just tell you one thing. Suppose how a reader creates a meaning, how a reader is creating meaning. Like it is very personal. The very first thing is that it is very personal, right? It's very personal way. You have various memories attached to it. Like if you are reading love story, you might remember your own love story. If you are reading about a father or mother story, you will connect to your father. If your relation with your parents are not good, you will think it in a negative way. But if your relation with your parents are good, you will be thinking in the positive way. So yes, it is based on your various influences, pain, feeling, background, how you're thinking, how you're accumulating that knowledge, physical conditions, my current mood, what is my current mood, whether I am happy or I am sad. It all depends on that, and that's how I'm going to take out the meaning. I'm going to take out the meaning out of the text when I am reading after these all things. So it is very personal, it is very memory, positive, negative, my current mood, my current scenario, and then I'm going to take out the meaning out of it. So now I'll give you the simple real life example with the novel so that you can understand. Like if you take the example of Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, different readers may interpret the novel in different ways. For example, a romantic reader may focus on the love story between Elizabeth and Bennet, Mr. Darcy. A feminist reader will focus on the limited social position of women that we are knowing, and that a quote starts with. Now please do let me know in the comment section what was the quote that it starts with. Now a social historian may focus on the class hierarchy in the 19th century England, and the text remains same, but the interpretation changes depending on the reader. And this is exactly what reader response theory emphasizes. I hope this example is clear. Let's take the another example. The novel 1984 dystopian novel. Everybody should be knowing this, and if you are not knowing, it is a dystopian novel. It will be having a lot of dystopian future and not a good story. Some readers interpret the novel as a critique of dictatorship, others see it's a warning about a government surveillance. Some readers relate it to the modern digital technology and social media control. The same novel generates multiple meaning depending on the reader's experience and background. And this is what reader response theory means. Okay, so now how a meaning is created. I introduce that your beliefs, your influences, your memories, everything. So it is produced through a reading process, and that involves the text, the reader, the reading experience. Now reader brings their own emotion, cultural background, beliefs, personal experience, positive, negative, happiness, sadness, annoyance, and all these factors influence how they are going to interpret their literature. And therefore reading is not passive, it is an active process of meaning creation. It is very important. I'll tell you, please take a screenshot of it or do write in your copy. This is very important. Please, I will suggest, please do write this in your copy so that you will understand it. Now what is a key reader response theory? So the central idea can be summarized like this: a text does not contain meaning permanently. Meaning is produced when a reader engages with the text. So literature becomes what? Dynamic interaction between a reader and a text. So different reader can therefore produce different interpretations of the same work, and that what happens with everybody. That is why that is why the role of critics come in. Like every critics will give their own criticism. Now what is importance of readers? So why are we reading it? So reader response theory changed the literary studies in several ways. The very first important, it gave the importance to the reader's role in literature. Earlier it was only the text, but now the position shift from the text to the reader. Second, it showed the interpretation is not universal but subjective. It depends on the subject and does not rely on universal. Third, it encouraged critics to study how reader response theory emotionally and psychological to text. Very important one. Because of this theory, literature is now seen as participatory experience rather than the fixed object, and that is very important and most crucial example of this. So what you have to remember, an author writes the text. What does he do? He or she does write the text, but it is a reader who completes the meaning. Okay, and that's the fundamental principle of what? Reader response theory. So in the next lecture, we are going to cover the major critics associated with this theory and the important concept. So after watching this video, you might know what is reader response theory, and now you're not getting confused, and now you know the real value of the reader. So in the next video, we are going to talk about the major critics associated with the reader response theory. And yes, if you found this video helpful, do not forget to like, share with your friends those are preparing for UGC NET. And if you're new to this channel, please subscribe this channel for more UGC NET content. Till then, keep learning, keep shining. Bye bye. All the best.